Boomer wants to know what you think of the tease at the end of the last season of Sheldon's never had a love interest, and now we see a foreshadowing of that possibility.
Right.
I want to add to that observation, are you as dubious of that as I am? Because I would make the argument that throwing in all that romance screwed up the TV show's Friends. When they all started falling in love with each other, it was like jumping the shark. Because they had this wonderful, delicate balance of relationships on the show and tensions that were great. And then my own personal opinion, whether I'm right or wrong, is that they took it too far. With this element looming over your show and your character, are you nervous about it? Do you think it's a wonderful possibility? What's your take?
I completely hear what you're saying, and I, in my own ways, agree with, I understand why to be nervous, and maybe at some level I'm a little nervous. The only reason I'd say I'm not is because they've been so good about, I think, about keeping these characters honest to what they started with, and we have spent sometimes, I wouldn't say excruciatingly painful, but somewhat longer times than others trying to get certain just phrases right coming out of a character's mouth, such as myself. And it's because they're like, it's coming off out of character. An example would be like, it's coming off, Sheldon sounds like he's being mean to Penny, as opposed to just the honest thing he normally is, which most people would be mean, but it's not with him, whatever. And they'll rack their brains to fix it right there on the spot. So therefore, I'm not nervous about what will happen. I'm very curious. I was shocked when I heard that they had cast somebody and she was to be set up with Sheldon. I really was. I mean, they don't run these ideas by me before they go doing
really
it.
Don't. That's interesting to hear. Wow, because that's so huge. You think they would have said, Jim, we want to talk about this, but they didn't.
No. In fact, I'm from Texas. Sheldon's from Texas. Nobody asked me before they did that. What other thing? Yeah, no one checks. But it's part of the reason why I say I'm not nervous, because I do have a tremendous trust that, frankly, they've earned. I feel from me. But I am curious, and the completely positive part about it is that I feel whatever happens, it will be extremely special, putting that word in quotes. It will not be, it'll be odd and therefore fun to play, I don't know. I really can't imagine where it's going to go.
Yeah. What's your opinion of the move to Thursday nights?
I am, what do I say? I'm optimistically hopeful. I'm optimistically excited. I really am excited. It would be very fun to be part of, establishing, assuming it all works out and whatever, and it works well, that we get to be part of establishing this new hour of comedy for them and whatever happens from that. It changes hard. And this is, although it was all on one night, this is, for our fourth season, will be our fourth time slot. We went 8, 8:30, then 9:30, and then, and now a whole new night in general. The one thing that all those moves said, and this one does too, is, it's a tremendous, it's a tremendous amount of confidence on the part of CBS. So that's always nice, kind of like when Sheldon's got a date introduced in the script. I was just as shocked about this. I think I found out on Nikki Fink, like most normal people, and I just went. I kept reading it, going, that can't be. What are you talking about? But that was in that same day. As the day wore on, I got more and more excited about it. Change is hard, but if it works, it can be fun.
It's got to be a little embarrassing for you to be suddenly thrust into having your private business of your salary dispute out there. Speaking of the more steamy websites, Forbes.com now has a long, in-depth piece of
somebody sent me that.
Yes, send in comparing all the details that if you guys get what you want, you'll be at 1/5
Right.
of Charlie Sheen's, that you're asking for a 285% increase in all, and they go into some really real details here that I'm sure are a little squeamish for you, but it comes with the territory, of course, of being a public persona.
Right.
I have to ask you as a journalist what you think of all this, or if you have any reaction to it all.
Well, sure. The first being, it's amazing how much of this came out of nothing literal at this point, which I find very funny. And that's whatever. It was a good lesson because apparently, we're in the fortunate position of being on a show that's going to keep going on the air, that's had good ratings, and therefore this is the time when I guess this stuff starts going on. So, I guess this is just, you have to just people are going to talk and make assumptions and, and that's the nature of the beast as far as that goes. It's not even, I don't guess if you can keep some sort of sanity about it, it's not good, bad, or ugly. It's just what it is, and you go through it. Like I say, the best side of it is you have to be doing well in order to be having these conversations. So, if you can keep focused on that, it's hard though. It's like you say, even if it's not true or whatever, it's always that thing of you don't want to be. Who would want to have it talked about? Why would you want to talk about it? I grew up in the South. You're not supposed to ask anybody's salary, whatever. Well, my mother would blush if she knew. But I don't know. So I guess it's that, and things will probably get noisier before they get quieter, but.
Right. And this is a nice problem to have anyway. So
yeah, right.
All right. So one last question. I'm going to ask you to ask yourself a question here. What question do journalists never ask about you or the show that you want to cover?
Oh, this is the one that I'm always bad at because I actually think all of you do a wonderful job.
Absolutely right.
I really don't know. I really don't know. I would like to say, for the record, and this goes back to my mother who I just mentioned, the amount of questions she gets from people about, like, did she really sing Soft Kitty to me? Or was Daddy really a drinker? It's like, I keep telling her, Mother, you must tell them that I don't write this. And that on top of not writing it, they're not basing it on my life. But that seems to be the hardest part to convince some people of. There's a lot of confusion, to their credit, maybe, like I said earlier, maybe making Sheldon from Texas and my also being from Texas and my mother being in Texas, maybe that has helped confuse the issue to a degree. But I thought particularly asking if Daddy had been a drinker was particularly odd.
Well, that reminds me of the line from All About Eve where the actors had the reverse situation where the egotistical actor believed that they actually said the lines, causing the one character to say, "It's time to remind the piano that it didn't write the concerto." Thank you very much, Jim. This has been great. Good luck at the end.
Thank you very much.